Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. You've probably noticed the change in mic quality, but that's because right now I'm using a completely separate mic than I used before. I'm instead using the mic that is connected to my earphones, and that means you could probably hear the heater that I got on in the room. Faintly, ever so faintly. Probably, maybe do you hear it? I don't know. Let me check. You could hear it ever so faintly. Um, Also, I got my puppy, Cooper, with me. Um, he's a good boy. He's just kind of resting right now. But yeah, he's with me. And he's a very quiet, puppy, so, you know, he's not going to make any sounds while we're doing this. Anyway, let's just get back to it, I guess. I'm actually
This
supposed
is the
to be
story
in,
of a man named Stanley.
I'm actually supposed to be in class. I'm not supposed to be in class. Oh, welcome back. Huh? Quit the game and then start it again. I got a trophy for that? I'm not supposed to be in class right now, but it is a little bit before I gotta start getting ready to go to class for the day. And I figured because I have more time than usual, I figured why not just record an episode of the Stanley Parable, because, just why not? Doesn't really require that much effort or that much time, so yeah, we'll just get moving.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Still wondering what all those open doors are, like, lead to. Also, I was a bit spooked by this game, like, the last time I was playing this, because it was, like, pretty late at night, and I saw some stuff earlier in the day that was
When
spooky
Stanley
me. Stuff that
came
I
to
will
a
not
set of
mention
2
because
open
I
doors,
get
he entered the
very
door on his
afraid just
left.
by even mentioning it. What if we
This
go
was
over
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
here? Maybe he did.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Maybe he did, maybe he
And
didn't.
so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Is anything over here? There's this door, but I can't seem to interact with it at all.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
like
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
so I'm
office,
always, like,
hoping he might find an answer there.
What if I just walk into one of these rooms and then there is just a person here? We'll get to it, I promise.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah. What's in here now? It's locked now. Why?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Nothing.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
It's floating.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley
Doing
happened
what
to
I do
input the
best.
correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Honestly, if this game like actually gave me a flashlight, I think that's when I would have a reason
Descending
to be
deeper into the
scared
building,
because like
Stanley
only horror
realized he
games
felt
give
a
you
bit
flashlights in
peculiar.
situations like
It
this.
was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself,
Then
to
again,
question
not
the
not
nature
all
of his
not
job.
all games
Why
like
did he
do that.
feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But I think Stanley wanted to escape and just get
Although
out of
this
here.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
That is true.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I mean, death comes for us all. Just face it, you know. Ah, this looks familiar. I'm just wondering if
As the
anything changed
machine
with
whirred
this
into
ending.
motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Ooh. This sucks.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh. This would make a great thumbnail.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
It's a very depressing way of thinking about it. Can we push buttons on the computer? No. I know it sounded like we did, but those are my buttons on the controller. Oh, but these are actual buttons though. Nice. And thank you to literally everyone who is here. Like, seriously, thank you. Thank you so much. This place is bigger than I remember it being. Oh god, Alexa, stop. I set a few alarms on my Alexa so that it, you know, wakes me up, but... Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Okay. That does sound insane, even for this game. God, what is all of this? I want to know what all of that is. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between the... How's the games? How's the game going? I hope it's good or better than the first one. From a cool man. Are you a rock? What is a strange number? Can you... Oh my god, what the fuck is any of that about? Oh. Okay. Cargo lift. There's like so much shit here. I feel like we'll have to like dedicate an entire episode to like going through the entire place, because there's so much here. So I'm not gonna bother trying to go through all of it right now. I don't have the time to comb through this entire place, and I want to make some more progress. So I think at the end of this Let's Play, we'll go back here.
Oh,
and
look
comb
at
through
these
everything.
two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Yeah.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Okay. Well, that was eventful.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
What
it
could it
mean?
mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Really trying to figure out what is all of this for. Is there any like other inputs that I could put on? There's like something with that, but I don't know how to trigger it. It's not working.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
No,
doors,
he
this was
didn't.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Maybe.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room.
We know.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Sure did.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
What happens here? I feel like there's something here that I missed. And I'm not sure if I want to experiment with the broom closet just yet. I'm really trying to build up to that, you know? Because that's the one that everyone loves.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
No, I'm not doing that again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's gotta be something. There must be something. There's another. That's one thing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Input, 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 input. It's gone. God fucking damn it. Really? I honestly don't know how to get that to work.
When Stanley came to a set of 2
I guess
open
we'll just
doors,
go
he entered the
for
door
the
on his
depressing
left.
one that I pretty much, like, just avoided, like, a few seconds ago.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
If he went down to the insanely creepy place.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
This ending.
This is all a dream.
I don't like this ending.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Oh boy.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
That was unending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I really want to find out some new content. I'm seeing all the stuff that people have been seeing on YouTube for years. And I know I stumbled upon some
When
new
Stanley
content.
came
That
to a
was just
set of
because,
two open doors,
it's
he entered the
Firewatch.
door on his
It's
left.
Rocket League.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I could do that. Okay, maybe there's something else over here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he
Incredible
wasn't
that he wasn't
5
5 years ago.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Maybe
I'm not your
so.
enemy, really.
Alexa, stop.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking, this is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Look, man, I know I ain't got
That's
no
her,
bitches.
Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
Yeah, I did.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
I
You actually
unplugged it.
chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another.
No, that's a
Music
lie.
comes in, fade to white, roll credits.
That's a lie.
Not
I ain't
picking
got
up
no
the phone
bitches.
is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I sure am.
I can't believe
And I
I
ain't
was
got
so
no
mistaken.
bitches.
This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you
This is
not
a game,
grasp
right?
the severity of the situation? Well, I
Thought it
won't
was a
have that
game.
kind
Bought
of
for like
risk on my
25
watch.
bucks.
I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
How the hell are you gonna do that?
Choice. It's the
Oh my
best
God.
part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For
Oh,
example,
no.
in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here,
I mean,
the
it
real
depends on
world
what
makes
I'm
sense.
capable
And
of
at no
doing.
time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the
I don't
person to
know
finish their
about
thought,
that.
then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
The fuck? My goodness, is it 4:30?
Excellent.
I'm...
Making
Oh,
choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
What
You may
the
have
fuck
noticed
did
that
you
this room
do?
has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
okay. This door. No? Fine.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful,
kidding
we
me.
can't
I
have you
can't.
jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no
Insane.
sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
I can think of a lot of things that are not well equipped to deal with reality.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
I mean, I could do that.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
How do you
I'm
know
quite
that?
sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly,
Uh-oh.
hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh boy. Wacky. I mean... Oh, that doesn't
It's
look right.
ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think
Entertainment.
was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to
was that
do? Even if
sound
there
that
were
you
a way
made?
to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have
Choice.
to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Whoop, whoop. Well, that's one way to do it.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you.
With me.
You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
I think it's more important
He
to be like
actually
me.
knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it
Well,
and
here's
been
the
victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on
but
it.
here's
I
the
tried so
thing,
hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2
If we
open
do this
doors,
one more time
he
and
entered the
nothing
door on his
happens,
left.
then I'm going to the left next time.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story
is
first.
so weird.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Damn right he did.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might come into a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That's not how it was before. And now this is locked. May I ask why? And that's locked too. Nothing over here. And this place is green now. It's also...
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions.
A voice
and beyond
receiver,
all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open
Night
the door?
Shark
Would it still
115?
work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained
Night
never to
Shark
speak up, but now
115.
he would draw
Night
from
Shark
within himself the
115.
courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115? Oh, I guess they haven't programmed microphone use. That's a shame.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
You didn't program mic usage into this game, dude. Not much I could do right now.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yeah.
You didn't mishear me, did you?
I didn't.
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
I would, but I can't.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it, but you know what?
I can't do it.
It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
Yeah, there's
whatever
a
choice you
reason
make
why.
is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
That certainly was an ending.
Already this was uncomfortable, and
No,
Stanley
really.
decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Okay. Well, I've never heard this track before, not even in the original game. Yes! Oh my god,
Oh,
yes.
new content? What does that mean, new content?
Yes, please. Holy shit. We did it. We found the new content. Only took us like 3 parts to do it, but hey.
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Sure was.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Awesome.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Okay.
Okay, so
Let's see
far it's
what's
an
new.
elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
What's new?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's
I've
do
never
it.
been more ready either. I just hope it's as good as, like, the old stuff, you know? So the writers haven't gotten any rusty.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Let's get that content up.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Oh! I can jump. It's certainly a new feature. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rangers in space. Oh.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Is the joke that there really isn't that much new content? Is that like
Another
the joke?
elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is
For
new
some
content,
developers,
then I
yeah.
could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Definitely all new. Oh my fucking god.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect
was, like,
for their
the joke
fan base
behind that,
rush a
like,
cheap expansion to market for no reason
thing.
other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore."
Does it actually? Hold on. Yep.
What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
You're kidding me.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I guess so. I'd love to see what that's all about, but I'm afraid I've run out of time. I gotta get going. Oh my god, we've finally gotten to the Ultra Deluxe portion of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Only took me 3 episodes, but hey. Anyway, I'll be seeing you, I guess. Oh my god, I'm excited. Here we go. See you next time. Bye.